Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Now, this one is what I kind of promised on my level 60 review. It's basically a ranking of all the levels, basically all the levels from 1 to 60. Just a few disclaimers before I start the video. So a few kind of rules I've got for this. Now, for a start, I'm just going to say I have redone my list entirely. So it is different to my top worst and top best. They have completely changed to the point where I've actually taken the number 1 of the best is actually different now, because I've kind of evaluated them all and kind of felt like how I originally felt when I tried to think back to how I originally felt, and I have completely changed my lists. So I hope you can appreciate that. Also, obviously, a lot of people will disagree with a lot of my decisions, and that's fine. I prefer it when people disagree. Another thing is I've grouped levels 1 to 4, levels 5 to 9, levels 10 to 14, and levels 15 to 20. I've grouped them as like kind of one level, and I've just kind of gone with an average, my average kind of feel for each level, mainly because they were all the first 20 levels were all released before the game. They were the first thing, they were just released before the game existed. So I've just grouped those ones because they make the most sense to group, because the wikis group them like that. So yeah, I'm going to try and not have much kind of explanation on each point. I will briefly go over why I've put it there, because if I'm going to spend a minute on each one, I'm literally going to be here for about an hour. So yeah, so the kind of worst level, I guess we'll go from worst to best, although the title says best to worst, but you know, it's better if we go worst to best. But so the first one is level 56. This is the level that included the danger pool with Lance Murdoch, was it? The gorge with Daredevil Bar, the convention center, and the bloodbath and beyond as a friend prize. Now, overall, I was very disappointed with the level. It really annoyed me because the danger pool is so kind of it's not very exciting. It doesn't really do much for me. There was so many. They should have added Lance Murdoch with the Speedway. It would have made more sense. And the Gorge with Daredevil Bar just seemed a bit of a rip off as well, because it was premium, and of course Daredevil Bar is not a very exciting costume. That's why I put it on as the worst, and it's been there for quite some time, and it's still there to this day, and I still think that's honestly the worst level ever, which is probably. You know, it's just what I think, especially when they kind of went to that they were that down the line, although they were kind of like quite down the line. It's just the danger pool which really disappointed me is one of the things. Then the second. Okay, so next we have level 53. This is Spiffinies with Mrs. Quimby, or Martha Quimby, and also has the Stacy with the Malleable Stacy stuff. The problem I have with this is all the Malleable Stacy stuff is premium, although Malleable Stacy is a really big thing in the Simpsons. They should have made that the cash thing, and not Martha Quimby. Maybe made Martha Quimby the premium. Also, as all the other stuff is all premium, that's the problem I have. The quest line is very unimaginative, and it's just very overall pretty boring. The next worst level is actually level 29. This only came with Magnus and the open air stage and some other stuff, but pretty much the only character we got was Magnus with the Skinner House, although it was a cool character to get. We didn't get very much else, and that's why I've put it there. Next is level 31 with the Wolf. This is the Wolf Castle level. So this came with Rainier Wolf Castle, his mansion, the all-night gym, and the film set with here the McBain costume. The reason I put this there is because it was, it was entirely kind of given to McBain, and they made the costume the premium thing, although it was basically the same character. Although I'm happy enough with the costume, and I like the fact they've distinguished the McBain character from Rainier Wolf Castle, I didn't think they needed to do it in the level, and they could have left it for the superhero update. That would have been a really cool thing to get in the superhero update. They should have added him with his daughter. Moving on, the next worst one is actually the most recent level, and that's level 60, the Googleplex Theatre with Raphael, the Duff Gardens with the Lizard Queen Lisa, and the Simpson Mountains and all the other stuff we got with the latest level. Honestly, the reason I've kind of put it very low on my list is mainly because it is the last level and I was expecting it to go out with some sort of bang. Although Raphael's a really, really cool character and the Googleplex Theatre is a really, really cool building and two things that we've wanted for a while, they really ruined the Duff Gardens for me, and the Lizard Queen Lisa wasn't I don't think, an appropriate character to come with the Duff Gardens, and it would have been much better if it came with all 7 Duffs, because I thought if it was Raphael with the Googleplex Theatre and the Duff Gardens with all 7 Duffs, I would have been very, very happy. Simpsons Mountains were pretty cool though, so I'll give it that. The next worst level is actually level 59. We're getting better. These levels are getting better for me. Is level 59. It's actually the prison bus with Gina and the museum with Malloy and the Big T Theatre. Now, people are probably going to be a bit annoyed that I've actually put this above level 60, but this isn't the last level. This is the second to last level, so it still kind of deserves a bit more criticism. But I think it took two really not so well known characters and it made a pretty decent level out of it, at least I think. You know, it's getting to the point where they were going to have to, well, at least I thought, they're going to have to start scraping the barrel now. And I think they made a really good level from, some really minor characters. The next kind of worst level is actually level 26. This came with Ralph Wiggum's house and with Ralph Wiggum, also the Wiggum house with Ralph Wiggum, and also came with Alchemistry. Really, that were the only things that came with it. It was a bit kind of bad because it didn't really come for very much, and that's why I've put it there. The next worst is actually the one before that, is level 25, and this just came with Smithers and the Burns Mansion. I give it a bit more than the Ralph. I'd say it's better because the Burns Manor is a bit more of a well-known building compared to Alchemistry, although the Wiggum House is important as well. They could have easily added Ralph of Alchemistry in the Wiggum House with Sarah Wiggum, and Sarah Wiggum could have been in this game this whole time, but they didn't. So that's why number 25 is the Smithers level. The number 22 is actually the next one. This comes with Edna, just Edna in her apartment. Because of the Halloween event, they kind of slacked on this level, which annoys me. The next one is level 55. This one, it came with Pal Motors and with Herb, and that was the premium item, and this is what kind of pissed me off. And the Worcesterfield with Declan Desmond. Although Declan Desmond was a really, really cool character to get, and I was really happy that they added him into the game, they added him with the Worcesterfield Hotel, which isn't a building he's ever been seen in, but it made it kind of sense to add him with that. But the Palom Motors was really, really undersized, and it came with Herb, and it was also premium, and Herb was kind of like teased about this whole time, and they ended up making him the premium character, and also they didn't do very much with him, and it wasn't very exciting. The next one is level 24. Level 24 came with Dr. Hibbert, the hospital, Hibbert's practice, and Dr. Nick as a premium. It was still Xmas, so again they slacked a little bit. Although this is a really, really cool level, and it is a really big turning point for the game, I just feel like well, it had 2 cash things, but they didn't add Dr. Nick with anything. There's so many different things they could have added Dr. Nick with, and it would have been perfect to add, although it was kind of like a doctor's update, and I guess that makes sense. It would have been cool to add it with Bernice and his wife, but whatever. I guess that's one I probably could have put a bit higher, to be fair. But, like I said, although I did this list, it's really, really hard to, keep going over certain points. But no, moving on. The next worst one, I guess, or the getting better anyway, is level 48. This came with Gold Navy, with Janie. This also had the Beer and Brawl with Lorleen, and the Krusty Burger Oil Rig. It was a decent level. It's just the characters didn't really go together, I guess. And although I'm not so bothered about that all the time, they didn't relate in any kind of way at all. But the Gold Navy was a building that Janie was never really seen in. The Beer and Brawl makes sense for Lorleen, although they could have added so many other things. They could have added her with a trailer park. That would have been a bit better to add her with. And there was just, it kind of comes down to things that would have been better to add these people with. I guess Janie is a kind of hard character because she's never really been seen in anything other than the school and the mall. Moving on. It's level 46. This comes with Mrs. Muntz and the Classy Girls Strip Club, the Preparatory School with Greta, and the Clamper Theatre and the Moon Bounce as well. Now, the Clamper Theatre was premium, and so was the school with Greta. The Classy Girl Strip Club was the only kind of premium stuff or non-premium thing in the game. Although obviously there was other non-premium decorations. The reason I've kind of put that this one here, you know, with above everything, below everything else, is because the story with Mrs. Munt, a lot of people didn't like it. It was very dark and a bit depressing, really. Also, they didn't mix either Greta and Mrs. Muntz. But I mean, and also the Clamper Theatre was very expensive. The Moonboss was pretty cool though, so I'll give it that. Moving on, we got 38. This comes with the courthouse and the grocery store. But they were both cash, which was pretty cool. It also came with the judge, obviously, because it comes with Judge Snyder, and also the blue-haired lawyer. There was some really expensive decorations, so that's why I'm going to put it a bit. I'm putting it lower, although it was a pretty cool combination level, and I agree with it. You know, I feel like the grocery store was oversized. I don't think the proportions of that were quite right. And like I said, the decorations kind of brought it a bit down because they gave us all these really cool courtroom decorations, and they were all pretty donutty or high-end cash, although the cash doesn't really matter so much. But yeah, I've kind of put that one there. The next we're getting better, but the next one is 32, and this is Sir Puts-a-Lots with Rod and Todd, and also Camp Bart with Camp Krusty. The Camp Krusty thing kind of let me down, let it down a little bit, because the Camp Bart costume isn't so creative, and they could have added this with any of the bullies or any other kids. To be honest, they could have added Camp Krusty with, because Camp Krusty, there's so many kids that were seen in there, so it wouldn't have mattered what kid they added it with, really. But it's one of those kind of places they can add more than one character, but they chose a costume instead, which doesn't seem very reasonable. However, I do think the Sir Puts-a-Lots really kind of raised it up a little bit, so I gave it that. The next worst level, so to speak, is we're getting better. I keep saying this. Level 50 is next. This comes with Helen Lovejoy with the Pancake Store. Never been seen in the Pancake Store, but whatever. It was cool to at least have Helen with a building. And they also added Jessica Lovejoy with her house, and Shorties and It Blows as well. The It Blows was a friend prize, but it still counts. Jessica coming with the house was really weird because they made that premium, which it would have been better if they swapped it around and made Helen the premium character and Jessica the non-premium character, because the houses, I feel like they should be cash and not premium, because you know, people make towns and stuff and make little neighborhoods. So yeah, it comes to that as well. Also, I was kind of annoyed because I wanted them to add Helen with the Republicans HQ, which, you know, they eventually added the Republicans HQ. It doesn't really matter anymore, does it? But whatever. The next level is level 47. This comes with Freddie Quimby with Quimby Compound, and the Arabia Strip Club and Princess Kashmir. Also comes with the French waiter and the Stuart the duck, and also the black box. It was packed with stuff which I really like, and I really do credit it for that. But you know, some of the stuff was really unrelated. Half the stuff, you know, Stuart the duck, the French waiter does relate to Freddie Quimby, but overall I felt like it was a bit unrelated to each other. So I mean, that's why I've kind of put it a little bit down. Also, it was kind of, there was some of the stuff quite expensive, and you know, a bit of it was premium. The next level I've put is actually levels 1 to 4. This includes Lisa, Homer, and you know, the other stuff, the kind of starting stuff. It is good, you know, because this is what started the game. I've just kind of put it lower than the other things because it was very talkative more than it was adding stuff. So that's why I've put it here, but it is really important for the game, so that's why it's above all the other stuff. So anyway, moving on. Number 23 is actually Channel 6 with Brockman. This comes with the post office decorations, quite a lot of decorations, may I say, and also Bumblebee Man. The reason I put this one kind of this high, I guess, is because it was really cool to get the post office and Channel 6 and Brockman, because Channel 6 is actually one of those ones where you can actually earn what you want, which is really cool. Yeah, the post office was, you know, cash. That was cool. The decorations were pretty cool, and Bumblebee Man, although he was premium, he was pretty cool as well. Number 21 is next. This comes with Nelson, Otto, and Kearney. Obviously, Nelson coming with his house, Otto coming with the bus, and Kearney coming as a premium character. It was pretty cool to add 3 characters into one level, so I'll give it that. However, obviously, the 2 other characters were premium, and especially that Kearney didn't come with anything, which kind of annoys me. It annoys me when characters don't come with stuff when they could come with stuff. Nelson was pretty cool though. He was a really cool thing to run the level with, and it's appropriate that he ran it and Otto didn't. It all kind of related because it all comes into this whole school thing, so that's why I liked it. Moving on, level 51. This came with Monroe Therapy with Dr. Monroe, The Grave with Frank Grimes, and although this didn't really relate so all too much, the reason I did like it is because it was later down the line, and they made a really cool level out of it. The whole gravestone thing I really liked. It was really something different. The whole, you know, you dig Frank Grimes out the grave, and I really liked that. And overall, I thought it was a great level, really creative, and overall a really memorable one. Anyway, moving on. Number 45 is actually Artie Ziff with Ziff Corp Office, Indoor Tennis Court, and the Fortress of Chocolate, and also the Hungry Hen with Uso, which was the premium stuff. There was a lot of non-premium stuff. This is why I really liked the level. Artie Ziff, although he's kind of I would have expected him to be a premium character. He wasn't, and Uta was, and I thought that was appropriate. Although the problem with it is it didn't relate, and I'm gonna take that in, I guess, into consideration from now on. But yeah, it didn't really relate, the level stuff. But overall, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, nothing really more to say. I liked it. Moving on. 36. This came with Noiseland Arcade with Dolph. It also had Jimbo as a premium character in the Museum of Natural History. Now, Jimbo came on his own, which again annoys me that he came on his own and not actually with a building or anything. However, they did add the Museum of Natural History. However, the problem with that is it's 2 separate premium items, which means more donuts to spend. So although they kind of balanced out by adding a building, a character, and then a building and a character, they didn't, so to speak, because it was still donuts. That's why it's a bit lower. But I was really happy to get the Noiseland Arcade with Dolph. That was really cool, and I remember the day I got that. I was pretty excited because I like to see all the bullies in the game because they're pretty cool characters. Number 41 is actually the jewelry store with Bernice. This came with the shed with Chester and the Bloodmobile and the Duff Boat. Bloodmobile and the Duff Boat were actually really cool to get. Now, I don't really like the fact that they've added a character that isn't actually in The Simpsons, and although they did do some story with him, and I know Chester was meant to originally be in The Simpsons, and then some stuff happened and the episode got axed, so he ended up not coming in. So Chester was literally exclusive to Tapped Out, which is kind of cool, but kind of not, because The Simpsons is meant, the whole point of Tapped Out is it's meant to be characters from you know, The Simpsons universe, and that's what, and they kind of develop stories from episodes. So it was a bit weird to get Chester on his own, but I mean overall I do like Chester in the game. It's pretty cool to have someone who actually isn't in The Simpsons. The next kind of level is actually a group of levels 10 to 14. This came with, you know, Willie, a shed, Burns, and the power plant, Bar, the treehouse, Martin, and the thing. I mean, Comic Book Guy, Reverend Lovejoy, and the Java server, and some other buildings as well that I've missed, and some other a lot of decorations. Now, I mean, overall, it was a pretty cool collection of levels. They were really early on, so they did benefit a lot. So I mean, I've got to take that into consideration. They were really early on, so that's why I've put it above them, but not above the rest of them. So you'll see. Sorry, it's really hard to justify some of these points, and I'm trying to do them as fast as I can. Moving on, number 42. This comes with the Itchy and Scratchy Studios with Roger, also coming with Lampwick and the Rocket Car and KBBL as the friend prize. Really cool to have. However, I was a bit disappointed that the Lampwick didn't come with the Gold Mansion and came with the Rocket Car. It was a bit of a weird thing. Also, the Rocket Car was quite expensive, and I mean, Roger coming with the Itchy and Scratchy Studios makes sense, but they could have added Itchy and Scratchy characters and actual characters in the game. That would have been really cool instead. I think maybe, I don't know, there would have been a task where you actually unlock them, but it was pretty cool to get Roger with the Itchy and Scratchy Studios, and I did like that. Number 34 is actually the high school that comes with Gary Chambers, and also Sherry and Terry. There was quite a lot of decorations in this one as well. Obviously, you had Chambers' car and stuff, and there was other stuff as well. With the actual it's like the knowledgeable museum thing. You know, it's pretty jam-packed level, and it was pretty cool for that. And I like the fact that they had Sherry and Terry as one character, because that made more sense than adding them as 2 separate characters. Overall, though, I just felt like it was a bit premium balanced. It wasn't balanced so much. It was kind of on premium ways, so I've put it there. Although it does relate because of the school situation. Moving on, we've got level 5 to 9. You know, this had different houses. Krusty, Krusty, Cletus, Millhouse, Skinner, some more decorations. I just think it's better than the other ones again, but I would say that it's not as good as some of the other some of the levels above. I felt like they kind of lacked a little bit on story. In my opinion, I don't really like the story early on. It's the reason that it put me off. The stories, a lot of the main stories. Actually, I don't know. I've never really been into the quest lines. They're not really entertaining to me. But that's why I put it there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And I'm kind of rambling, I know. Let's move on. The next one is number 44. This comes with John's computers with database, the Happy Sumo with Akira and Bloatus on the Squid's Paw, and also Mr. Teeny as a fan prize. Now, I'm dying at the minute. I'm talking too much. Right, John's computers with database is really, really cool to have because it was a kind of a smaller character than they added with John's computers, and it's not like they're too well-known stuff, but I think it made sense. And Happy Sumo with Akira, it was a bit annoying that it was premium, but it was pretty cool. And the bows, it was really, really cool. I think the main reason that I like this level though is because it added a different building for the Squidport that we haven't got, and it also added Mr. Teeny finally as an actual character and not just an animation in Krusty's quest line. And that's the reason I've kind of put it higher. I've put it this high, so to speak. But the fact that it didn't relate kind of did weigh it down a little bit. Number 57 is actually the Overpass Diner with the old Jewish man, the Centre of Education, Shotguns Peach. The Centre of Education was actually premium. No, it wasn't premium. It was cash, along with Shotgun Pete's, and also the mansion with Bella. The mansion, whatever the heck it was called, with Bella. I did originally put this as my number 1. I've put it way down now, but the main reason I put it way down is because they didn't relate, and I get that, but the reason it is this high, I guess, is because it added a lot of non-premium stuff, and a lot of stuff in it as a whole, quite low down, quite, I guess, although we two really cool characters, even though we were quite into the game, and there was a lot of other characters that were already added, and I was pretty happy with it. The next is actually the Slaughterhouse with Dora and the YMCA of Coach Corrupt, and also the Volcano Pizza Place. I mean, overall, I thought this was a pretty cool level. It was a school level, and I liked it overall. It was cool to get Coach Corrupt, although there is Mrs. Pommelhorse, which is a bit well known. She's a more well known gym teacher, which is a bit weird to add him over her, but I was happy enough, and I was really happy to get Lunch Lady Doris, and it was a nice way they added her. The Slaughterhouse made a lot of sense. Moving on is level 39, and I'm gonna so regret doing this video. Is Sanjay in his house. It comes with Arpu's apartments with Manjula and Krusty land decoration. Now I was happy that they made Sanjay's house the non-premium. However, it was a bit annoying that the Manjula was the premium. It's kind of a tricky one because although I like the level to relate, and it's really cool when it relates. These are two pretty big characters that one of them shouldn't really be premium, but any of them shouldn't be premium. But Manjula was premium, which is okay, I guess. But at least they completed the family. I like these levels when they try and complete the family. That's what they were trying to do. Although they haven't obviously added any of Sanjay's kids or any of well, actually no, they did eventually add one of Sanjay's kids, but they didn't add any of Arpu's kids yet. They haven't added any of them yet. But yeah. It was a pretty cool thing, but another reason that I really did like is it added kind of quite a few new Krusty Land decorations with the Duff statues, which is really cool, especially when we're past Krusty Land territory. Moving on, level 54. This going with shot kickers with Ruth and the Powell house with Laura, and obviously the setting sisters, which was Cash, and also you had the Mr. Powell's car. It was a family update. It added all the family members. There was only 2 members of this family. They added all of them in that update, and they added all the appropriate buildings, and it made sense. And I liked it overall. I wouldn't say it was a pretty good level, although it lacked imagination. I think. It was cool enough to get it, and I was pretty happy with it, and it's a nice level. The next level is actually level 40. This comes with who does it come with? It comes with the Fudge Factory with Cocoa Bean and Miss Hoover, the Lotto Liquor with Dewey, and also it had a concrete wall, which I thought was pretty cool. They're adding more walls and more decorations in is pretty cool, especially this late into the game. So the Fudge Factory was a really cool building to get. It made sense because there wasn't really much Miss Hoover could come with, because we've never seen her house, and we know that she works in the school, and we don't have any other building that we can associate her with. So it was cool to have the school trip storyline. The Cocoa Bean, obviously, adding 2 characters to one building is always a plus for me. And the Lotto Liquor with Lotto and Liquor with Dewey, I thought it made sense. It was an okay building to add on. The fact that they made Dewey the premium is what I like the best, because he shouldn't have been. Yeah, it's appropriate to make Miss Hoover the non-premium. Moving on, level 58 is one of the Mafia ones. The Mafia ones I really do like. And this is the one with Frankie the Squealer. This 58, Frankie the Squealer with the Mafia car, Johnny Tightlips with Plato's Casino, the Country Club, and they also returned the Rail Yard with Sebastian Cobb. Really good level. Overall, I really enjoyed it thoroughly. It was cool to get Sebastian Cobb coming back, but the main reason I really like this is because Frankie comes with a Mafia car and Johnny Tightlips, and we're quite low into the game. This is 58. This is the level before 59, but this is when we were kind of quite light in the game, and they still managed to make 2 characters relate. Obviously, it was easy because of the Mafia members, but it was 2 characters I really wanted to be added, and I was really happy when they were. And overall, it was a great level. The next is my final collections of levels. This is level 15 to 20. I thought this is when the game really started to pick itself up. This came with Marge, the Springfield Grounds, the Dog Grounds, the Jake's Unisex Hair Palace, the Gillard Truffle, Wiggum with the police station, Luigi with his restaurant, Snake with the prison, and Abe with the Elfolk's home, and Quimby with the Town Hall. This is when the game really started to pick up, and this is when I started enjoying it more, because I wasn't so keen on the game like early on. I was a bit disappointed with it, and when I kind of started to get into these more kind of more sort of background, more recurring characters, I started to think, oh shit, they can do so much with this. They can add so many characters, so many buildings. They can just make Springfield in this game. And that's kind of what I think these levels do. They really do show that anyone can be added into this game, and that's why I like this this collection of levels, and that's why I've put it here. Now we're going into half an hour though. Now this video is pretty damn long. Number 33 is the SWAT van with Ed and Lou, with the Canine Officer, Arnie Pie, the Wax Museum, and the Sun Sphere. Really jam-packed level, really cool. We got Ed and Louie for free basically, and Arnie Pie is like an extra one. Although they didn't relate, they don't really relate all too much in the Wax Museum and the Sun Fair. They were just kind of thrown in. It was still a really cool level, because we got 4 characters in this level, and you can't complain. Although the 2 were premium, you get 2 for free, which is cool. The next one is another sort of duo, I guess, the black and white duo, if you want, is Carl and Lenny with the Buddhist Temple, the Adult Annex, and Mount Carmel. Right, there was only one kind of, well, there was 2 characters added into this, and I know that, and it's kind of weird that I've put this above the one that added 4 characters, but Carl and Lenny are such big characters. It was so cool. This level was so hyped for, and I was so happy when I got it. It was such a hyped for level. You know, they released it on their Facebook. They made it like so that everyone was going to come and see this new level, and it was a really cool level to get. And I remember it was probably one of the first levels that I actually experienced that was actually new. It was a new update to the game. And Mount Carmel was such a cool mountain to have. I was so excited when I hacked it and I got that. Anyway, moving on. Number 35. This is the Stu's Disco, Patty Selma, Jub, Pet Shop, Spinster City Apartments, all that good stuff. The DMV, you get some DMV decorations. Such a great level, jam-packed with stuff. All okay. Disco Stu kind of relates. It relates a bit more with Patty and Selma because of the whole. I think they used to be together, didn't they? So overall, it related to a sense as well, which I thought was brilliant, and it was a great level overall. I couldn't complain. It's just the perfect level. Plenty of stuff, although it was quite early on, so they did have a lot of stuff to add. Moving on, number 49 is the next one. We're getting into the top 4 now. We've only got 4 more to go, so don't worry. This is actually Michael with the summer mansion, summer house, summer mansion, and also the Rancho Relaxo with Don, I forget his name, Don Vittorio, that's it, and also the old warehouse. The reason I like this level more than the others is the Don actually had voice, which was really cool. Michael is, you know, is kind of completing the family sort of thing with Fat Tony, and it related. It was another mafia level. They basically have 3 mafia levels in the game, and I love them all, especially looking over them. They're such good levels, and they've got some really good story in it. This had way better story than the other thing. They also added the old warehouse as well as another Squidport building, which also adds it way better as well. It just makes it better because they're adding more stuff to a kind of thing that was sort of forgotten. So overall, brilliant level. I can't really complain about it whatsoever. I need to move on. Number 3, it's Kirk and Luann with the Bachelor Arms Apartments, the Office of Unemployment, the Cracker family, especially what they did with the Office of Unemployment recently. It's just made this level so much better. It's another one example of completing the family, completing the main family anyway. They added his mum and his dad, Millhouse's mother and father, into the game. His mother with the Quacker Factory as a premium, and Kirk as a sort of non-premium. And I thought that made sense because I think Kirk is a more recurring character than Luann is, just a little bit. And I was happy enough with this level. I thought it was a great level, really fun. And yeah, no complaints about it. It was a great level. Number 2. Now, there's 2 levels. You probably don't know because you probably lost track of numbers, but there's 2 levels now, and number 2 is actually level 43, the first ever level I did a review on, and that's the Krusty Land stuff level with Princess Penelope and quite a few Krusty Land stuff. Still stands as my second, still stands in my top 5. It's because it refreshed Krusty Land for a little bit, and that's what made it cool. However, I didn't like the fact they only added 1 character. That's the kind of thing that weighed it, that kind of allowed it to slip into number 2. If they added 2 characters, and maybe having maybe if they added Krusty's dad with Princess Penelope and made Princess Penelope the premium, this would probably be the best level. However, the fact that Princess Penelope wasn't such a big character is why it kind of weighed it down from the other level that's beat it. But I can't complain about this. It refreshed Krusty Land for quite a bit. And I added so much stuff to Krusty Land. So 4 new rides to Krusty Land, which just refreshed it. And it was such a shame because it felt so dead, and it feels dead now, and it is dead at the minute. I don't think they're going to be adding any new stuff to it anytime soon, which is a shame. But yeah, that's why it's there. Really good level, and one I really remember, especially for me because it was the first one I reviewed. And now my tongue feels like it's about to fall off, so let's just get into number 1. Let's have that drum roll. Okay, it's level 28. This is the one that added Fat Tony back into the game. He was previously a character that you could have unlocked into an episode time, but they released him as a character with the Businessman's Club, the Mafia's Businessman's Club, if I just look. It also added the Agent to Cuba for 100 donuts. Really good deal, I would say. Fat Tony's compound with both Legs and Louie, and it also added the Rich Texan for 85 donuts. I mean, honestly, it all relates, it all ties into itself perfectly. It added the hot tub, which was a bit of a shame. The only kind of bad thing about this level is the decorations, but I think overall this kind of this level, it was just such a perfect level, and it added you know, the Rich Texan. He makes sense because he kind of relates to the Mafia, doesn't he? I mean, overall, I just love the level. Looking back at it, I really should have given it a lot more appreciation than I have. I haven't really touched on this level before. I don't even think it made my top 10 last time. I'm not even too sure, but it really is a great level. Yeah, I can't say much more about it because I can't. I'm just gonna keep rambling on. But anyway, guys, that's it. It's over half an hour. I knew it bloody will be, but I don't want it to be any longer. So this is it. Thanks for watching. Please put your levels in the description. I've got to have a glass of water. So I'll see you next video. Goodbye. I probably should have done it in 2 takes at least, but I like to do it in 1 take because I'm busy. Bye.